and welcome to another episode of Garage Gameday Sports. I'm your host, as always, Louis Longoria. You can find me at Gameday Garage on Twitter. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube and also like our page on Facebook, Garage Gameday Sports. I want to talk the Thursday night football game between the Dallas Cowboys, now at 7-4 after a 6-1 start. We've lost 3 of our last 4 games. Going to New Orleans to take on the 5-6 New Orleans Saints at the Superdome, a place where we have not historically had a lot of good luck recently, and trying to take the bad taste out of our mouths that was left on Thanksgiving after not 1, not 2, not 13, 14 penalties in a historically weird, historically bad call, a bad call of a refs game on Thanksgiving after that 36-33 wild affair to the Las Vegas Raiders. The Cowboys got to clean it up on those penalties, man. And we'll dive into all this in a little later. But we're taking on a New Orleans Saints team that's struggling of their own. They've lost 4 in a row. They started off 5-2 and look like they may even give some competition to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the NFC South. Losers of 4 in a row. So I'm hoping the Cowboys can turn it around in prime time against the Saints. Like I said, the Cowboys, 3 of their last 4 have been L's, so a rough November for both teams. Coming off that 36-33 loss to the Raiders, you had the Chiefs game where our offense was shut down, and then, of course, looking completely lost against the Denver Broncos in that game. So really struggling against the AFC West. Only 1-3, and the lone win was a 3-point win in LA against the Chargers. So something about the AFC West that doesn't trigger good memories or good times for the Cowboys. Some good news on the Cowboys injury report. We finally going to get back Tank Lawrence. DeMarcus Lawrence looking like he's good to go on Thursday after that broken foot he sustained the week after in practice the week after the first game of the season. He's been out ever since. Per interview with Jerry Jones with 105.3 The Fan, his usual interview, he says DeMarcus Lawrence is good to go. So definitely a welcome sight. Maybe we see DeMarcus Lawrence getting some action, getting up in Trevor Siemian or Taysom Hill's grill, whoever starting at quarterback for the Saints. We know Micah Parsons has been doing an excellent job. We've seen some sacks from Dorrance Armstrong, some of those guys. Tristan Hill, although he's going to be out the next 2 games. We've seen some flashes from the defensive line, but I'm hoping to see some consistency now that our anchor's back. DeMarcus Lawrence back in the fold for this game, and hoping we can get Randy Gregory back within the next 2 or 3 weeks. Also for this final stretch before what is hopefully, fingers crossed everybody, playoffs for the Dallas Cowboys. CeeDee Lamb, a full participant in Monday and Tuesday. He cleared concussion protocol, so he is looking like he is also good to go for this game. We will, however, unfortunately likely be without Amari Cooper. His services, the unvaccinated Cooper, missed the last 2 games. He's still possibly on track to miss this game with yet another Thursday game around, a quick turnaround, 3 games in 11 days. So if he was asymptomatic, he would have been cleared for this game, but still showing signs of illness. So he is more than likely out for this game. So we'll have 2 of our big 3, CeeDee Lamb and Michael Gallup, but Amari Cooper, his presence or lack of presence will be felt because one of the best route runners in the game catches all the balls thrown to him. He rarely drops passes, and he's just been very reliable for Dak Prescott. So we will be without the services of Cooper for this game. And also Terrence Steele, Nashawn Wright, and Coach Mike McCarthy, along with several assistant coaches, all testing positive for COVID, all out for this game. Mike McCarthy's been doing everything virtual, but he will not, obviously be on the sidelines for this game. Defensive coordinator Dan Quinn will take over as, the de facto head coach, or, decision-making will go through Quinn, of course, experience with the Atlanta Falcons, and by virtue of being in the NFC South, formerly, seeing the New Orleans Saints twice a year, so he may be able to provide a little more insight as to how the Saints operating, how the Saints run things. So, you of course want your coach. You want Mike McCarthy there, but Dan Quinn not a bad second option at all. With his head coaching prowess, his defensive ability, what he's been able to turn around this defense, and the experience he has with the Saints previously being in the NFC South, so that should pay dividends. Alvin Kamara, Marcus Davenport still questionable as of the airing of this video. You can find this on YouTube, and it'll be on Anchor and Spotify a little later today also. Alvin Kamara dealing with a knee issue. Marcus Davenport shoulder injury. They are both questionable for the Saints. Davenport can bring the heat as a pass rusher and really anchors that front seven that ranks third in the league against the run. It's yet to be seen whether Davenport will play or not. It'll be a little tougher for Zeke and Tony Pollard to get going on the ground if he does indeed play. And Kamara been out past couple of weeks. He wasn't there for their blowout loss to the Bills on Thanksgiving. That 31-6 loss, they could have definitely used him there. Kamara provides, such a dynamic player on offense. He can catch the ball. He can run the ball. You can do all sorts of things with him. And if Taysom Hill does start this game for the Saints, you would have a hybrid, the equivalent of a 5-tool utility player in baseball terms in Taysom Hill at quarterback, and then you'd have such a versatile weapon at running back with Alvin Kamara if he's good to play. That could cause a whole lot of confusion for the Cowboys on defense. The Saints don't really throw the ball that well. They're only 27th in the league in passing offense. Then again, on the flip side, the Cowboys are 27th in the league in passing defense. So something kind of has to give. But you've seen with quarterbacks with running ability have given us problems. Sam Darnold ran for a couple of touchdowns way back when in the Carolina game a long time ago this season. Patrick Mahomes, we'll see Kyler Murray later on, the second to the last week in week 17. So mobile quarterbacks do provide a different look. So it will be interesting to see if Taysom Hill does indeed get the nod. He's dealing with torn plantar fascia in his foot. So we'll see if he's good to go. The Saints are saying if he clears practice and shows no signs of pain or slowing down in practice, then he's a good to go for the Saints. The Cowboys, some needs and some concerns that have been plaguing the Cowboys for the last few games. Number one, they've been a first half team for a lot of this season. They would come out, punch teams in the mouth, quick touchdown or a field goal, or they'd get something. They'd get something of substance, at least one score in the first two drives. And not only have they come up empty in the last two games, they've actually given up opening drive touchdowns to the Chiefs and to the Raiders. The Cowboys a much different team when they play from ahead as opposed to being behind. So the Cowboys definitely want to set the tone early, get Zeke and Pollard both going, because the Saints run defense, whether Davenport plays or not, you still have Cam Jordan on that line. They're very formidable, and that place is going to be rocking. The Cowboys have historically had a rough time in the Superdome in New Orleans playing the Saints. They definitely need to start aggressive, try and get points on the board the first drive, preferably a touchdown. And I don't want to see Dak Prescott throw the ball as much as he's been doing. You've been kind of abandoning the run. Jerry Jones said in an interview, because there was concerns about whether Zeke will even play in this game, that we may just see TP20, Tony Pollard get the lion's share of the reps in this game. Jerry Jones came out and says, look for a serious workload from Zeke. So I'm hoping for a healthy dose of Zeke and Pollard, because the Cowboys play a lot better when they balance the run-pass ratio a little more. They've been throwing about twice as much as they've been running. So I definitely want to see that evened out a little more for this game. And, of course, they got to clean up the penalties. I mean, the penalties, we had a lot of penalties in the Chiefs game, too. And in the Raiders game, of course, the 14 penalties. And the Raiders had 14 of their own, too. So a combined 28 penalties. I think I just saw a flag thrown at my house, a yellow flag. Oh, there's another one, because that's what it seemed like in this game. You couldn't go 2 minutes without seeing a yellow flag thrown in, or multiple yellow flags on plays. And it wasn't just the penalties, it was the lack of discipline, and it was the timing of the penalties, because you had penalties that would result in Raiders first downs, that extended drives for Las Vegas. You had penalties that resulted in points for the Raiders. You had penalties that stalled drives for the Cowboys and ultimately could have cost points. It could have left points on the field. So it's not just the penalties, it's the timing of the penalties, and that just really kills momentum of a team. So the Cowboys definitely need to clean that up, and it wouldn't surprise me at all to see several false start penalties with how raucous the crowd's going to be at the Superdome. But the Cowboys are just going to have to work through it. And another concern they're just going to have to work through, and CeeDee Lamb may help remedy this a little bit, is the dropped passes. Quit dropping passes. Cowboys, please, stop dropping passes. I don't know how many times the last 2 weeks the Cowboys have dropped passes. And Dak hasn't been the most accurate either. He's been, he overthrew Gallup in the Chiefs game that, could have very well resulted in an opening drive field goal or maybe even a touchdown on that drive. He's thrown behind Noah Brown. He's overshot people. So Dak has not been the most accurate by any means. So I'm not letting him off the hook here. But some of those that have been dimes and that have been on the money and they hit the receivers in the hands and they just drop them, like, come on, guys. You've got to be cleaner than that. They've got to clean up the dropped passes. You don't want to lose another game, and drop to 7-5 when the Washington football team is now just 2 games behind. And guess what? We haven't played them yet. We haven't played the Washington football team. We're in week 13. We have not played Washington yet once. We still have the Giants also, and we still have the Eagles also. So in the course of our last, we're 7-4. That's 11 games. This will be game 12. So we'll have 5 games after this. 4 of them will be against division foes. You do not want to leave your division rivals any hope or any chance of catching you in this division. This game is very important. It is a conference game. So in the sense of a tiebreaker, if it went to tiebreakers, down the line is conference is your record against teams in your conference. So this is a game you don't want to lose. This is a game you don't want to give any sort of hope to any teams in your division. The Eagles were hooting and hollering, ready that they were gonna make a splash and come back and put a lot of pressure on the Cowboys because they play in week 18 and it could be a winner-take-all game. And what did the Eagles do? They fell flat on their face. They scored 7 points against the New York Giants. They fell. But Washington keeps winning. So they're only 2 games back. So you really don't want that kind of pressure. We've seen the kind of results that the Dallas Cowboys put on when the pressure's on. The lights are the brightest. And it's a winner-take-all game in the last part of the season. And the Cowboys fold. So we definitely do not want to get to that point. This team is too talented. The chemistry is too strong. You've got too many key players on this team that they should have no business being in the last week or two in a dogfight with the Eagles or the Giants or the Washington football team for this division. So this is a game I believe the Cowboys have to win. They're going to have to overcome that pass rush of the New Orleans Saints. And that's the matchup I want to watch. And I'm going to focus on Zeke and Tony Pollard and that offensive line. Now we got Tyron Smith back another game. We're not going to have Terrence Steele, so we won't have quite as much depth. But Zeke and Pollard on that offensive line against that pass rush and run defense of the New Orleans Saints. We've got to get Zeke and Pollard going. I think they can get it done on the ground. They may not light up the scoreboard, but if we get a touchdown or 2 from Zeke and Pollard and some key third down runs, we've got to see some different play calling too on first down. We've got to get out of those third and longs. We need to get more chunk plays, more yardage on first and second down, and not leave us in such a hole on third downs. Those third and mediums, third and longs. We've got to get third and shorts or even first downs on first and second down, and really take the air out of the ball and take the momentum away from the crowd in New Orleans. And I think the Cowboys can do that. I think I'm looking for a somewhat lower scoring game. The Saints, whether it's Taysom Hill or Trevor Siemian, I don't think they're going to put a ton of points up on the board. We gave up 36 to the Raiders, but then again, you had Derek Carr. Carr's got a strong arm. You got Jacobs. You had Waller for a half before he got hurt. And Hunter Renfrow killed us through the air. So I'm hoping for not a repeat of that by any means. And we do have to keep an eye on Marquez Callaway. He's a guy who's been scoring touchdowns as of late, and he can turn a game around. And we don't want a Deshaun Jackson type play where it's just a bomb and it's boom 7-0 right off the bat. So Marquez Callaway, we definitely don't want to hear his name called very much for the Saints. If we do, it's going to be a long day for that secondary. We were already roasted and toasted from the Raiders. We definitely don't want a repeat of last week's game. Anthony Brown, I'm looking at you. Jordan Lewis, I'm looking at you. I don't want to just throw Brown under the bus because there was tons of work to be done on the defensive end. But going back to my prediction for this game, I think it's going to be a lower scoring game. I think we can get it done on the ground. Dak Prescott, I think, can pick apart this defense, this passing defense. The run defense is going to be a stout test for Zeke and Pollard, but I think Dak can make some key throws. Having CeeDee Lamb back in the lineup will, of course, remedy some issues, and I think having DeMarcus Lawrence keeping that Saints offense in check and helping out the secondary at the same time, generating a pass rush, also helps your secondary out, not having to cover guys for so long. I think Prescott finds his form. I think he throws at least a touchdown. He probably gets to 260, 280 through the air. I think Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence both get sacks in this game. And I like the Cowboys to win a defensive game here. I like 24-20, the Dallas Cowboys. I think the Cowboys get on the right track. They right the ship here. Getting two guys the caliber of Lawrence and CeeDee Lamb back is going to make a world of difference on both ends of the ball. And we won't have quite a gunslinger to worry about for the Saints, whether it's Simeon or whether it's Taysom Hill. So I do like the Cowboys in this game, 24-20. We'll just have to wait and see. It should be a heck of a game tomorrow, and I just hope the Cowboys can pull through. You definitely don't want to push this and kick that can down the road where you have to try and clinch the NFC East, late in the season. I'd rather stockpile wins now, and let's get it done in the next few weeks. So my name is Louis Longoria with Garage Gameday Sports. You can find me once again at Gameday Garage. Like, comment, subscribe to our videos. We love to hear feedback from you guys, and we love to interact with our subscribers and with our fans on YouTube. And also like us on Facebook. I'll be back in a couple of days for our Cowboys review, what is hopefully a Cowboys win over the Saints. So I will see you guys next time. Have a wonderful December 1st. It's December, guys. It's crazy, right? Go Cowboys.